In the small, snow-draped town of Frostwood, nestled in a forgotten corner of the world, there existed a Christmas tradition unlike any other. Every year, as December's frost painted the town in icy hues, the residents of Frostwood prepared for the arrival of a figure not of joy, but of dread. They called him the Yule Shade, a spectral entity said to emerge only on the coldest, longest nights of winter. The story begins with the Carter family, who had recently moved to Frostwood, ignorant of its eerie customs. The Carters, consisting of John, a historian, his wife Emily, a school teacher, and their curious 12-year-old son Tim, were welcomed with open arms, but also with hushed warnings about the Yule Shade. The townsfolk spoke in whispers, their eyes darting to the shadows as they shared fragmented tales of a cloaked figure, with eyes as cold as the heart of winter itself, who wandered the snow-laden streets on Christmas Eve. John, a man of science and reason, dismissed these stories as mere superstitions, a part of the town's quirky charm. Emily, however, felt an unsettling chill that she couldn't quite shake off. Tim, fascinated by the macabre, spent hours gathering stories about the Yule Shade from the local children, who spoke of missing pets and eerie footprints in the snow. As Christmas Eve approached, the town transformed. Decorations, usually symbols of joy and celebration, took on a sinister air. The townsfolk shuttered their windows and doors, and the streets grew desolate as night fell. The Carters, trying to keep the holiday spirit alive, decorated their home and prepared a festive meal. But as darkness enveloped the town, a sense of foreboding settled over their home. That night, as they tucked into bed, a piercing howl shattered the silence of the night. Tim, curious and fearless, peeked through his window, his eyes widening in terror at the sight of a tall, cloaked figure drifting through the snow-covered streets. The figure stopped and turned, its gaze piercing through the darkness straight into Tim's eyes. Panicked, Tim rushed to his parents' room, but found it empty. The house, usually filled with the warmth of family, felt cold and alien. As he searched the house, the lights flickered and went out, plunging him into darkness. The only sound was his own heartbeat and the soft, ominous whisper of wind outside. Armed with only a flashlight, Tim ventured into the frigid night, following the cloaked figure's footprints. The snow seemed to swallow his footsteps, muffling any sound. He wandered deeper into the woods, the trees like skeletal hands reaching out to the sky. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing where an ancient gnarled tree stood. Bound to it were his parents, their eyes wide with terror, their mouths gagged. The Yule Shade, its presence more chilling than the winter air, hovered near them, its cloak fluttering in the wind. Tim, frozen in fear, could only watch as the Yule Shade turned towards him, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. It raised a hand, beckoning him forward, its voice a mere whisper on the wind.
"Join us, child, in the eternal winter."
Just as Tim took a step forward, the sound of bells pierced the night, and a blinding light enveloped the clearing. Tim shielded his eyes, and when he looked again, the figure was gone. But his parents remained, still bound to the tree. He rushed to free them, his hands trembling, but as he untied the last knot, a chilling laugh echoed through the woods, and the ground beneath them began to tremble.